Welcome back to TakeFive Sports, and today we are making a video I genuinely thought we might never... I didn't think we'd be making this right now. Yesterday, for those who don't know, Francis Ngannou, former heavyweight UFC champion, stepped into the ring with the current WBC heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury, and what we thought was going to be probably one of the easiest fights in Tyson Fury's career, what most of the boxing, most people thought it was going to be an easy wash for Tyson Fury, and I'm not going to pretend I didn't also think that. Yet here we are today, because Ngannou and Tyson Fury is officially in the books. It went the distance, and Fury just won a questionable split decision.
I'm gonna start us off here,
bro. This is crazy.
Let me just start us off here. Did you think Ngannou got robbed?
Straight up, I think you can make the argument that Ngannou got robbed in this fight, and you know what, he very well may have, because if you watch that fight, it wasn't just Ngannou coming out there and landing like a knockdown.
Yeah.
Bro, he was winning rounds off of him. Like he was outboxing him at times, which is crazy to me.
Which is crazy.
I never thought I would see that. I did not think I would see this. And he came out and proved everyone wrong. It was actually insane.
Bro, like, if I'm giving, like, I've been, like, literally just rewatching the fight highlights ever since last night just to see. And honestly, like, I guess you could say Fury edged out a win. Barely edged out a win. Which is sad to say, but I'll go into more of that later. But Fury, you could say Fury barely edged out that win. But I think it should have been at least a draw. Just because... Bro, Fury was not looking like the Fury I saw in those water fights, with the head movement, with the baiting, the feints, the speed, the taunting. It was like, I don't know if he said he trained 3 extra weeks in camp than he did for like Wilder and stuff. I don't know if he trained that hard or if he trained at all. I don't know what makes him look worse in this situation, because it was like he couldn't figure him out. It was like he couldn't figure Ngannou out.
What's crazy to me is like, when you watch Ngannou fight, like, you would think that someone like Wild, because a lot of people will say like when you fight someone who's unorthodox or like that really like wild style, like something like Wilder for example, it's a bit harder to deal with because it's so unorthodox. It's like really random. You don't know what to expect. But the thing was, like, Ngannou wasn't even fighting like unorthodox. He was just fighting normal, like very technically, like like jab straights, like no like crazy insane combos, no crazy insane speeds or whatever. He was just, I don't know what it was that he struggled with per se. But Ngannou was just that guy for some reason. Like, he was stepping forward. So it's not even like Fury was like pushing the pace and Ngannou was fighting off the back foot. This man in the first like 3-4 rounds, he is the one pushing the pace. Like, had the defense. He was stuffing all of Fury's like advances. He was like controlling the engagements. So it's not even like you can say like, he just got lucky with it. He was like skill wise, he was doing better, which is wild. It was like,
bro, I thought like for the first 2 rounds, first 2-3 rounds, I'm like, okay, you know what? Fury has a real high like boxing IQ, so I'm like, okay, he'll take a few rounds, figure him out, then kind of formulate what he wants to do, figure out his game plan. This just like never happened. It went into the 3rd round, and then when he got that knockdown on Fury, I was like, yo, this is something, we're witnessing something historical here, okay? Because Fury or Ngannou, he should have never got that knockdown on Fury. Statistically, this should have never have happened. I thought he was gonna go in there and just get danced on. I thought Fury was gonna go in there, do his normal whatever, piece him up, and then we're out of here. Even if it goes to decision, we'll be like, yeah, like Ngannou was getting slapped up. He couldn't knock him out, but it is what it is. No, bro, this guy was keeping it competitive. It was like Ngannou, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he felt the power and then he was just like, okay, maybe I need to rethink. I don't know if he didn't train enough. I don't know if he wasn't, I don't want to say he wasn't trying because that takes away from Ngannou. So like, I don't know what it was. I don't know how you explain this, but yo, if he had trouble with this, he's gonna have trouble with Usyk, because Usyk is not a power puncher. He's a technical boxer.
Goes in there and, like,
this is what I'm saying.
Usyk,
this is what I'm saying. If he goes and he fights Usyk and he smokes him, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like,
but this is not take away from Ngannou, because like at the end of the day, like whether his Fury's a best day, worst day, he still went in there and he looked like the better boxer on the night. He scored the knockdown. He scored the more damage. You look at that fight at the end of it, and it's insane to think that like what we saw is, you would think like Fury was supposed to do that to Ngannou, not Ngannou doing that to Fury.
If I sat like someone down who never watched boxing before, and I said, yo,
who do you want this fight?
And not even that, if I'm just like, yo, this one person is the heavyweight champion of the world boxer, and one person is coming from MMA, never boxed a day in his life, making his pro debut, and never told them who is who. Who would you think is like in that fight? Exactly.
crazy.
Like,
it's just wild.
I don't know what Fury. Like, honestly, I don't know what he was looking for. I don't know if because
he just couldn't get anything going.
Exactly, because
at
like
any point, like I just feel like even in like those, there were rounds where yes, like he was winning, but even in the rounds he won, it wasn't as dominant as you would think it was. It wasn't like those rounds where he was winning off Wilder, where it's like he's basically knocking the man on his feet. It's like he's just winning off the technical scores. Like, he's landing the jabs, whatever. Like, on paper, yes, you're scoring it. But when you watch it as a fight, you're like, oh, it's not doing anything to Ngannou. Like, he's standing there,
like,
which is crazy.
In the Wilder fights, too, from Wilder 1 to 2, you could see how Fury's game plan changed. He changed up more to being less, let me win on points, to more, I'm going to knock this dude out. So he changed up his camp. He changed up how he fights. We've never seen a Fury fight like that before going into Wilder 2. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know what he did in order to prep for Ngannou. Maybe it's harder to prep for an MMA guy, but especially being someone like Tyson Fury, I thought he could have easily figured this out. His speed, just how abnormal he is. I'm just like, I don't even know what the game plan was going into this, because it just seems like he couldn't, like you said, he couldn't get anything going. Couldn't figure him out, couldn't punch through. I think he couldn't hit him with a few combos, and like, people are gonna say, Fury won this fight. If you know boxing, Fury won this fight, obviously. But that's not what I'm trying to argue. I'm trying to argue that this should have never been this close. Because you can't tell me, as someone who watches boxing, you could be a casual, you could be a hardcore, diehard fan. You can't tell me that Fury outboxed Ngannou in this fight 10 times out of 10 times and looked dominant. Because he didn't. And that's kind of like...
And judges' scorecards reflected that. It went 1-1. One judge was on something. 96-93 is a crazy scorecard. The other two, at least 94-95, you can make the argument, because aside from the knockdown, it was a little bit difficult to score, because there wasn't much action per se to be like, who won what. But 96-93, like, what are we talking about here? Like, what fight were you watching? Because that did not happen.
But that's what I'm saying. And like, this looks worse on again, out of coming after the fight, like, out of everybody, the fight's done, this looks worse on Fury than it looks on Ngannou, because Ngannou's the people's champ now. Everyone's saying he got robbed, but Fury, you're the heavyweight boxer champ of the world, all right? You need to be looking dominant. You need to be looking clean, like how when Mayweather and McGregor matched up, yes, McGregor landed shots, but you already knew there's levels to this at this point. This, you should have showed that there was levels to this. You didn't, and this looks horrible on you. This looks horrible on you as a boxer. Somehow this makes Wilder look worse, because Wilder was like, what is this, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how to formulate this. Like,
it's also like, but not to discredit like Tyson Fury as a boxer, because at the end of the day, that man is still at the top of this game. Yeah. Like, granted, yes, this is a questionable win, whatever. He's still at the top, so it's not like saying that he's a scrub for this fight, because he is still at the top. It just says more about like how insane it is what Ngannou was able to do. Yeah. Because like Tyson Fury is still that guy. Like, granted, boxing wise, he is still that guy. But it's just wild. It's like,
bro, like, I'm not even trying to say like, Fury is a bum, because again, this guy's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite boxers.
Amazing to watch. Like, and what a nice guy.
I'm just saying, this performance just looks bad on him. It looks bad on him because, again, this is a guy who's making his boxing debut. We didn't know anything about him. You've gone up against guys like Klitschko. You got up against guys like Wilder. You faced some of the best boxers in the scene. And you like look at the Wilder 1 fight. You got knocked down and you got back up and literally outboxed him
in the same round. Again,
and that was the 12th round. You should have been done. You should have been dead. So
what happened this?
I don't know what happened when he I'm watching that knockdown over and over that Ngannou got. It's like, I don't know if your guard just slipped. I don't know if he wasn't respecting Ngannou's power.
We've seen him get knocked down before. Yeah. But the thing is, even after he's gotten knocked down, he would get up and then decisively smoke the rest of the fight, that you forget that he got knocked down. Exactly. The thing with this fight was he got knocked down and he didn't get up and just be like, I thought, okay, now that he got knocked down, he's like, all right, I'm done messing around. These next 7 rounds, that's it. Like, you're not.
I thought he was about to turn up. Yeah, I thought he was about to turn up.
But I did not see that. I did not see that. Like, for the next 7 rounds, I'm like, okay, it's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. Suddenly we're in the 10th round. It's coming out. It just did not come.
I know people like Wade is saying Ngannou won the fight. Straight up won the fight.
Listen, like, the thing is, I would have to go back and watch it per se, and I don't know how to score. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm like some professional judge that can score it. So very well, maybe in terms of the rules of boxing and like how judges scores and how scoring works, Fury won that fight. If I'm looking at it just as like a boxing fight and just like from the eye test, I can say that Ngannou won that fight. Yeah. I think, and the fact that one judge had to Ngannou, one judge had to Fury, I'm sure it's a lot closer than it seems, and I'm not even like surprised out here that they probably edged it to Fury, that one judge especially, because maybe like he just thought it looked bad on boxing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what my friend was saying too. Like, yo, it looks bad on boxing, so they gotta give it to the boxer.
Because even when it was going to scores, I literally told you, I'm like, yo, regardless if Ngannou won this fight, they're not giving him this win.
They're not giving it to
because this is insane. Like, they're not giving this win.
Bro, like, even if like to me, like, if I had to give you my, I honestly think this should have been.
Won him.
I thought this should, like, honestly, I thought this should have been a draw. That this should have been a draw.
Minimum.
And like it, like even if a draw, that's a W for Ngannou, because
huge.
Because again, it's not like Wilder saying, not Wilder, Fury's. It's not like Fury saying he didn't train. Fury said he trained harder than any of his other opponents. So to even go to a draw, like if they were to go to a draw, it's a W for Ngannou.
Bro, Fury literally was the one that said like this is like a ping pong guy coming into Wimbledon.
Like,
and then like you had Ngannou talking Twitter out. He's like, well, pretty good for a ping pong player.
Yeah.
Like it's actually, well, the thing is, like, I don't know. This says so much. It's just crazy to think. Like, never would I have ever thought. 'Cause I thought this was gonna go exactly like how the McGregor Mayweather fight went down, where it was you have to give him a puncher's chance, because at the end of the day, it is boxing. Obviously, like MMA is a bit different. Yeah. Where if like a boxer goes to MMA, I generally think that MMA like
they're gonna smoke
99.999% of the time will smoke it. But at least in boxing, you have that puncher's chance. Yeah. Right. So I thought that's what this was gonna be. Ngannou has the puncher's chance, same thing way how Wilder had the puncher's chance. Like the technique's not there, but he'll get.
Maybe
yet somehow he came in outboxing. I never would have.
Maybe he just grasps, like he just gets boxing more. You know, he just, like, some people just pick up the sport fast. And he's one of those guys.
It could very well be that Ngannou is just a prodigy in boxing. Like this, because for him to be someone who has never fought a professional boxing fight, and in your debut to go against not just a heavyweight boxer. Mm-hmm. The top of the division, the literal champion, and come out with what people are saying is a robbery. Yeah, is like you are a prodigy.
It's insane. If I'm Ngannou now, I'm saying bun the PFL. I'm going straight boxing, bro. That's where the money is. That's where less damage is. Like, bro.
Well, now it says so much, because now it's like, now you're really questioning, like, wait, maybe Ngannou is this guy. Let him go fight AJ. Let him go fight Fury. Let him go fight Wilder. Let him go fight
whoever, bro. Like
Usyk. Let him go get in the mix now, because now I want to see him.
This is where the money. Like, I love MMA, but this is where the money is. He'll be making bare money. He can be headlining events,
and he showed he can belong.
Exactly. He just opened up so many doors for him. I know Dana White's punching the air right now because he's like, oh, he's never gonna get his like dream match type thing. Like,
I thought this fight was gonna end up being the end of Ngannou's career. Yeah. Because I said the fact that he's stepping in here, this is just gonna hurt his name. Yeah. If he goes and gets like knocked out, what's he gonna do after he goes to PFL? He's done the complete opposite. This man has just started his career at this point, because now he's literally looked at as like the heavyweight champ of the world. Like right now, he is the top of the top, and like the fact that he did this to literally the champion in boxing,
it's opened up
like on your
so
first
many
fight,
doors.
On your first fight is crazy.
It opened up so many doors, and now even if he wanted to do like a one fight thing with the UFC and want to fight John Jones, how does Dana White say no? How does Dana White say no to that now?
You have to make that
like happen. You can't say no. So like Dana White's literally punching it. He's fighting demons right now, because this is worst case scenario. Like, he quickly sent that direct deposit to the judge, and he was like, yo,
switch that right now, because there's no
96-93 right now, bro. He's like
in the, whether or not like Ngannou won on this like scorecard, in the eyes of everyone, and I guess that's what really matters. Yeah. Because sure, the judge's scorecard says one thing, but in the eyes of the public, in the eyes of everyone, in the eyes of the MMA world, the boxing world, people are saying Ngannou won this fight. So at the end of the day, he won this fight.
If you're Fury now, you gotta come out in your next fight. I don't know. Like, do you think a rematch is gonna happen?
I think after Usyk, it's in the work. You can make it happen, and it should be official this time for the belt, for everything.
Because I know they didn't have a rematch clause. So what I was thinking is, like, if this guy got knocked, like how Fury was saying, if he got knocked Spark out, there was no rematch clause in their contract. He would have been played.
And the thing was, if Ngannou won this fight, you gotta give him that belt.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if this was an exhibition or whatever. He deserves that belt if he went on and won that fight. Bro, because at the end of the day, like, he just took out the best.
I saw Usyk panicking in the crowd too, because if Fury loses, there goes his payday.
Yeah, like, what do you even say about this Usyk fight now? It's like, are we just watching like second place? Like, what is this? This is insane.
They just announced that it's no longer. They were planning December 23rd. They're pushing that, obviously, because this guy has a black eye. This guy he's not in any place to fight. I don't know if they're trying to, if there's a rematch in the works. I don't know if they're going Usyk then back to Ngannou. I don't know what's happening after this. They canceled the post-fight press conference because clearly that guy was about to duck every question.
Bro, when I tell you going into this fight, I thought I was about to watch like the retirement of Francis Ngannou. I'm like, whatever, you guys bag one last time is what it is. He absolutely shut me up, shut everyone up.
Got a clean
because
10
this
mil
man
too.
Just went out and showed he is not only that guy, he's here to stay potentially.
Yeah.
And this could literally change the scene for what we know.
If I'm insane. That's what I'm saying. If I'm him, I'm staying in boxing. He got 10 mil from this fight. He could easily do.
And you know they're all lining up.
Exactly.
Like, their promoters are gonna be lining up.
He could easily fight someone like AJ, 25 mil. Then he could grow till you get to that triple digit status where you're making 100 mil a fight. Like, bro, this could be some of the biggest boxing cards we've seen. And now that Ngannou proved himself, again, like you were saying, this is a game shaker. Because before, MMA guys were getting smoked in the boxing ring. Yeah. But now you're seeing they actually have a chance. And you're seeing people actually pick it up. So the game's evolving.
It literally changes the narrative. And some people might want to argue with me about this. But this changes the narrative of combat sports as a whole. Mm-hmm. Before this fight, it was always, like, is MMA man's better? Is boxing people better? And what I've always had the stance is that whoever steps in whoever's ring, whoever's house, that person's gonna lose. Like, if you take a boxer, go to MMA, the boxer's gonna get whooped. You take a MMA guy, go into boxing, the boxer is gonna, like, whoop the MMA guy 10 times out of 10. This completely changes that narrative forever.
Exactly.
Forever. Because now any MMA guy that steps into boxing, Ngannou, you will always reflect on this fight and say maybe he can take that person out.
Have a chance. Exactly. They're always going to refer to this fight and be like, maybe he'll pull an Ngannou, And unless a boxer goes and avenges this loss in MMA, and I'm being dead ass when I say this, unless you get a boxer go into MMA and somehow pull out a win on not just anyone, it has to be someone at the top of a division. It has to be the champion of the division. It has to
be a champion of a division. This conversation is going to stay like that.
It has to be like someone going from boxing to UFC, fighting someone like John Jones and barely losing this fight, going to a decision with John Jones. So like
at bare minimum, and that's how the only way we're gonna Fury this combo back.
Fury arguably he could beat all his competition. Like from what I've seen, he was head and toes the best in division.
He still is the guy. Like it's not to say like, oh, Fury's washed. Fury's thing. He's not washed because he's still in his prime. That Wilder fight was a year ago, so it's not even like to say like, oh, he's fighting like at least Floyd when he first versus McGregor. It was like Floyd was like 40, at the end of his like career. This man Fury is still active. He's still in this fight. He's fighting Usyk, and like he was supposed to fight Usyk in 2 months. So to act like you're fighting a scrub version of Fury, like, oh, if this fight was 5 years ago, that. No, because you were versing a good version of him.
I swear to God, if we don't get this Usyk fight because of this, I'm gonna be so upset, bro. This is just makes boxing look like crazy right now. This is shaking up boxing.
Actually shaking up like the whole like combat.
Because now, where does Ngannou go from here? Because he opened up so many doors for himself. Like you could either go back to PFL, but I don't know if they're gonna pay you anywhere near what you could get for a boxing match. Like, do you hit up AJ? Be like, yo, let's get something going. Do you hit up Wilder? I would love to see Wilder and Ngannou fight, bro. Like, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to see that? Maybe they run it back with Tyson this time with actual, yo, he can compete for the belt this time. So, who knows? This goes any direction, bro.
But like I don't even know. Like I think for Fury, he's definitely gonna have to go back out there and like redeem his name. And again, this is not to be disrespectful to Fury, but he needs to go out there and show that he is like the baddest man on the planet when it comes to boxing again. Because as of right now, that title's like it's very shaky.
Oh yeah.
So he needs to go out there and fight Usyk and prove who he is and make us question maybe this was just an off night and like we run it back, it won't happen again. But as it stands right now, that whole night, granted Fury won on the scorecard, that night is a win for Ngannou.
Last thing I was gonna say too, like what if Nick Ngannou wasn't fazed by Fury's power? Because he took an elbow to the face.
The man ate an elbow, which was insane to me. You think like Ngannou would be the one to be sloppy and throw the elbow. Yeah. The fact that he ate a crazy elbow, and this guy doesn't even look like he got scratched.
Because he's used to that. He's used to taking elbows in the face.
Phased,
that's what I'm saying. Maybe Fury's power wasn't enough to deter him, and as soon as he took a couple punches, he's like, he's used to those 3-ounce gloves, like those 5-ounce gloves. Yeah. He's like, this is light, bro. Like. So
I just thought Fury would have an answer for something. It's just for some reason he felt like he had no answer. And maybe Ngannou is just that guy, and he is just like a way better boxer than he could be in MMA or something. I don't even know. Maybe he's just literally just a prodigy in boxing, and maybe we're actually witnessing a true like heavyweight boxing champ, and he goes in the boxing and he goes and washes the entire division and becomes that guy. Yeah. But as of right now, like this man is probably the baddest man on the planet.
But I don't know what there else is to say. We'll update you guys if we get any news on possible rematch, if they're moving forward with Usyk, because right now it's just radio silence on their side. I don't even know if France is gonna appeal this decision. So Who knows?
I don't even know if he appeals it, only because I don't even know if this is like official or exhibition. I actually don't know what the rules were because wasn't for the belt.
I heard he might appeal it. I heard he might appeal it.
He might have a fair shot at it too. But what's crazy is just like the fact that, you know, now in the future, if I ever see a fight come up, anyone can win. It's anyone's game now.
Exactly.
And so
he proved it right there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll keep this up. My mind is just blown.
I'm not even gonna pretend like I thought Ngannou was gonna go in there, dude. I thought he had a puncher's chance at best.
Same.
And like that's all I gave him.
I didn't know.
That wasn't even to disrespect.
I didn't know he was gonna stand there and box.
To be honest with you, that wasn't to be disrespectful to Ngannou. That was just to be like, you know, like.
But it's because what we've seen from Fury.
But just in general too, and I would say the same thing if Fury was the one going to MMA to fight him. I would have said there's no chance that Fury even has like a remote chance to beat Ngannou, and I thought it was gonna be the same thing here. And you know what? I guess not. And I guess going forward in life, I can never say that again. Because now I don't care if it's Volk fighting Deontay Wilder.
Coming in last minute.
Coming in the last second to fight Deontay Wilder. That man has a chance. And that's going to be the narrative until somehow some get back is taken. And like we can like solidify this debate. But as of right now, this is insane. And it is probably one for the history books. And this genuinely changes the narrative on boxing and MMA. And if you want to be a hardcore enthusiast and say, oh, we're casuals, oh, that's not true, you guys don't know anything about boxing, bro, granted, I'm not saying I do, but as someone that is watching like combat sports, this does change the narrative. And like that's just my opinion on it. You can have your own, but I think the masses might agree with that one.
But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on any news that comes from this, any more boxing news. Just comment down below who you thought won. Like, did y'all think it was a draw? Did y'all think Fury slightly won that? Do you think he won it dominantly? Or did Ngannou get robbed? Just let us know down below. And we'll see y'all on the next video.
Peace.